What's up, everyone? Welcome to Clear Talk. We are it's fire pit time, man. And this is your weekend special. So what we're going to talk about in this video is the Israeli-Lebanon agreement that was conjured by the U.S. That happened yesterday. The signing of it, of peace agreement. That clearly is just a bunch of BS. We're going to talk about that in this video. So thank you very much for joining me here. All the information is in the description down below, links and stuff to this channel, all my other channels. So check those out. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all the good stuff. You know this. You know the drill. There's merch link there. If you want to see any kind of merch for any of the channels, there's a Patreon link there if you want a discount on the merch, or just help support, or both, or whatever. There's everything's down there. So thank you very much for joining me. And if you're returning, you're freaking amazing. So let's get into this. All right, I haven't done a video for the past couple of days, so I apologize for that. I've been trying to wait out things happening, and also working up some stuff for videos that I'm going to do on subjects that didn't need immediate attention. So I do have those set out to do first thing next week, on Monday. So be looking for that. And then I'm going to do two little speedy videos today. This one, and then another one on the that little presidential assembly council, whatever, for religious affairs or whatever, or religious freedom, whatever the hell it is. Okay, I'm gonna do a video on that too, because that was wild. All right, so what happened? Okay, so as we know, we've had the memorandum of understanding between Iran and the U.S., and there's been conflict around Lebanon, clearly, because Israel has, done its incursion, occupying sections of Lebanon. You have Hezbollah pushing back on that, and there's just been this constant back and forth. Where Israel will attack, Hezbollah will do a counterattack, or they're trying to prevent them from taking strategic areas, taking more area, which is their land. Okay, we understand that this is in Lebanon, while Israel wants to cry about soldiers being attacked. These are soldiers being attacked on another sovereign land. Okay, this is not stuff happening in Israel, it's happening in Lebanon. Okay, so you can't whine and cry about soldiers being attacked when they're being attacked on another sovereign soil. Okay, get the fuck out of here. This is ridiculous. But this has all been around. You have Lebanon, okay, the officials of Lebanon that want to claim that, okay, Iran can't speak for us, so we want to speak for our own selves and do our own agreement with Israel, where there's been a lot of over the years, a lot of concentration in Lebanon, especially in its leadership, to be favorable to Israel, and even more so be favorable to the U.S. So that there's a conflict there, because they don't want to be connected, or to be perceived to be connected to Iran as like Hezbollah is. So there's been a lot of things going on there. So even in this agreement, okay, and they were very blatant, open, that this had nothing to do with Iran. It had nothing to do with Hezbollah. Like they were not a part of this. This is an agreement between Israel and Lebanon, and Iran and Hezbollah had no say in it, which is very funny when you completely discard an actor from being a part of this, and when they certainly need to be in agreements. I mean, it's the same kind of problem that we have with the U.S. and Iran agreement, and Israel stating we weren't a part of that agreement, so we don't have to adhere to it. There's the same thing. If you're not including Hezbollah, and Hezbollah doesn't agree to this, then you're just, it's just fail. It's a fail right off the bat. There's nothing gonna you can't saying that you're going to prevent another, or, you know, try to force another a group, a party in this, and not have them a part of it, and think that they're just going to hand it up. They're just going to give it up. Oh. So y'all agreed, then okay, I guess we just have to agree. This shit's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. This is pointless. All right, it's all a show. All right, and it was a show to try to look like we were trying to do something so Iran will continue negotiations. Iran is not stupid. All right, they're not MAGA. All right, they won't believe this bullshit. Nobody does. I'm not even sure MAGA believes it. And if they do, well, that's in line, anyways. So, this is I have a carpenter ant trying to crawl up my leg here. This is dead on arrival. It is. It's dead on arrival. It was completely pointless. And that immediately showed, and not even immediately showed on the side of Hezbollah, but it immediately showed on the side of Israel, because we know as soon as Israel signs an agreement, they break it. You can basically count it down: 5, 4, 3, 2, boom, it's broken. It doesn't take nothing for them to break it. And what have they done? They've broke it. There is no ceasefire. There's no agreement. When Israel agrees to a ceasefire, it is you cease, we fire. That is all it ever has been, okay? And immediately after the signing, we still have attacks happening in Lebanon by Israel in southern Lebanon yesterday evening or afternoon, and then we still, even as of this morning, Israel is continuing to do attacks in southern Lebanon, quote unquote, going after somebody that they consider a threat, like a person that they consider a threat. But of course, this is in defense. That's what all of their activity is in defense, and they consider themselves exempt from that kind of stuff because they claim it's defense. You like, whatever. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. And yes, immediately Hezbollah comes out going, yeah, we don't agree to this. This wasn't on us, and we don't agree. All right. But the one thing that I also want to quickly address here, because I don't want it to be lost, or thought of as like, or misunderstood. Rubio gets up there in this like announcement of this agreement, and he continues to state, quote unquote, that what I guess his historical thought or his historical opinion of what has happened, where Hezbollah is, who they are, like, in acting as if they are a completely like exterior entity that has nothing to do with Lebanon, and they're just occupying Lebanon. That is a lie. That is bullshit. That is straight up bullshit. Hezbollah is mostly majority made up of Lebanese people, okay? Lebanese citizens. This is not Iranians that are occupying Lebanon and Lebanese people just want them out or whatever. This is a bunch of bullshit. Hezbollah is Lebanese Shia people. Shiite, whatever, fuck. Anyways, these are Lebanese people, okay? That rose up under the previous Israeli occupation, when Lebanon could not control, could not push back, did not have the strength. Their army was not capable enough to push back on Israel because of the forces that they have, that we have aided in giving them. They occupied for like 20 years or whatever, and finally a resistance group came up of Lebanese people that were tired of it and created Hezbollah. Okay, these are Lebanese people. They were trained, yes, by the IRGC. Very true enough. There's no argument there. They were trained by them to learn combat and to learn resistance and push back on an aggressor like Israel. And that's what happened. They rose up, They were able to be strong enough to push out Israel from Lebanon, and that is the reason why they have had the ability to create basically a state within a state, because they have more authority in actually resisting against Israel than Lebanon itself has, because economical sanctions and things of the past and has completely corrupted Lebanon, and put Lebanon in a place where they just do not have the ability to actually defend itself, or have that, you know, sovereignty argument against the Israeli aggression and in the Israeli argument. So it is, that's where they come from. They're not some outside entity that has nothing to do with Lebanon. That's bullshit. And Rubio just straight up fucking lied on that. So that's that I wanted to address, you know, right off the bat. So these are Lebanese people. Now, are they like widely accepted in Lebanon? That's another argument and question altogether. No, they're not. The people, there are a probably, I would say at this point it's like half and half, pretty much. You have a whole lot of the Shiite people that completely, you know, support Hezbollah for the most part. I mean, yes, when you know, there are to some degrees like people, I'm sure, that are like, yeah, we support them, but we don't always agree with what they do. We don't always agree with the tactics that they use, but we overall support them because otherwise we have nothing to defend us. You do have problems, sure, you have plenty of that sentiment as well. But then you have the like opposition that's about half the country as well, that do not agree, do not like, because they feel that they are constantly bringing the aggression on Lebanon and on them. And these are the ones that are a little bit more sympathetic to Israel, or a little bit more sympathetic to, you know, just giving in to Israel, as far as like, we need to get rid of Hezbollah. That's what Israel claims. That's all they want, and then they'll just leave us alone. Although we know that that is bullshit. Israel is about the greater Israel. They want to take over this land. That's what their desire is. So these are people that are actually being quite foolish and thinking that let's just give in to Israel, and give in to the U.S. and give in to, you know, to getting rid of Hezbollah, and then we'll just be left alone. They'll just leave us alone because that's all they really want. That's all they really want. They just don't want a threat of Hezbollah anymore. But honestly, that is actually probably going to just allow you to be taken over. I'm just being honest. I'm not supporting Hezbollah here, but I'm just stating the reality of the situation, because of what I've seen in Israel and their tactics and their motivation and what they are drive for. That is what's going to happen. You need a group like Hezbollah to push back, and to ultimately, you've got to get Israel to actually sign into an agreement and be forced upon that agreement by the entirety of the global community. All right, that you will agree to this and you will not do this, or there will be repercussions. All right, if you go against this agreement, and that's the problem. And until you actually get Israel to agree to that, then nothing's going to stop. Nothing's going to stop them. They're going to continue to do this, okay? Because it's quite frankly, at this point, to what degree you want to argue that Hezbollah is a terrorist group, that or any of these groups are a terrorist group, Iran a terrorist nation, like, I'm sorry, but you are full of shit if you're looking at all of these other groups and calling them terrorists, but then look at Israel and all that they have done, all the aggression, all the death, all the killing, all the abuse, all this, you know, just egregious acts that they have done, not just in the past 3 years, but over decades, and argue and try to act like they are not terrorists. I'm sorry, that is insane. Your definitions are just like hypocrisy. It's all it is. I mean, it's straight up. It's bullshit. All right. Even to argue that the United States is not terrorist at this point is crazy. All right. If you can't define one group as a terrorist and an aggressor and all this shit, when there are other groups, other nations, other countries, other governments, other militaries doing the same thing at the very least, or actually worse, which is actually the reality. You can't say that. I'm sorry. Just because you deem it as so does not make it actual so. So I'm saying a lot of so's there in a minute, in a few seconds. So we have again, we have this agreement that's going nowhere. Israel has already broken it. Hezbollah did not agree to it, so it's all complete bullshit. And where do we go from here? I mean, it's all spectacle. It's all spectacle. And Iran is not going to agree. Is going to see right through this. It's clear as day. You've already had now this continued spout of disagreement over the memorandum of understanding between Israel and, the U.S. and Iran. So now we have attacks actually going back and forth between the U.S. and Iran right now as well, over the memorandum and over the continuation of Israel and what they are doing. And even to the degree that Israel claims that they might pull back on aggression in Lebanon, then they just become aggressive in Gaza, or they become aggressive in the West Bank, or you have constant day-to-day reports of attacks in these other regions as well, in Gaza, in the West Bank, death, people dying, kids dying. It is Israel is out of control. How many fucking times have we say this? They are out of control, and nobody is fucking holding them to these criminal acts. What is a part of this agreement? The argument here is that Israel is creating these two zones. One of them is up to the Latont River, and then the space that they have tried to aggress further from the Latont. I think it's Latont. I think that's how you say it. Whatever. That goes upwards towards the Nadaya area that they've previously tried to take and do attacks on. They're continuing to do attacks on. The idea is that the Lebanese army, the Lebanese forces, are going to take over that region, that extension of the quote-unquote security zone, their occupation zone, that they will take that over because they're claiming, oh yeah, we don't really want this, we don't really need this, so yeah, if you would take this over, then we will back our forces back, but this other zone up to the river that we have had for a while now, we will maintain, we will keep that. And the argument is that they're claiming they're going to keep it until Hezbollah has been fully disarmed and basically are illegitimate, like they don't have, or been removed from any kind of power, all of their infrastructure destroyed and damaged, all of their ammunition and missiles and all these stockpiles removed or taken over by Israel or whatever. Like, until all of that happens, Israel will maintain this occupation. They're basically arguing that we have seized this land, and we will seize it and remain it seized and occupied, not even allowing civilians back into it until Hezbollah is completely gone. That's the agreement. So it's basically set up for a annexation, occupation, long-standing, as long as Israel wants to argue that there's, and Israel will continue to argue Hezbollah is a threat. Because for one, Hezbollah is not going to back down, is not going to disarm, because they literally consider themselves the only resistance against a occupying force on their sovereign land. These are Lebanese people again, okay? These are not people that are just from outside sources or something. These are Lebanese people. These are people that live there. They've grown up there. This is their land. This is what they consider sacred for them. And they are defending their fucking land. Simple as that. Okay, that's what they are. No different from any other resistance group that would make any kind of argument against a government taking their land, or another government taking their land, their sovereign land. All right, it's no different from all the fucking Americans out here that want to scream about their Second Amendment rights to own shit piles of guns and stuff in case their government comes to try to take their land. Okay, there's no difference. Okay, it's a militia. It's a defensive mechanism of sorts. All right, it's absolutely ridiculous that we consider them traitors, or consider them terrorists rather. It's just ridiculous. But it's because of Israel and their like victimhood bullshit that they're constantly trying to argue, while they are the ones actually being the aggressors, while they're the ones that are actually trying to kill and remove and obliterate societies and groups of people from the earth. That's what is the actual reality of what's going on here, and it's just so infuriating that they continue to get this defensiveness from everybody and allowing them to act this way. It is just disturbing and disgusting at this point. The arguments around anti-Semitism, fuck you. Okay, seriously. This is not anti-Semitism, all right? This is not a hatred of all Jews. This is not a racist aggression and violence towards all Jews. No, this is your Zionist ideology, your Zionist Jews that are in control and leadership and government and the military and are carrying out all this aggression that are trying to push all these agendas, are trying to push this violence. Okay, that's what is the problem. It's not all Jews. Okay, that's absolutely ridiculous. And to argue that you have an opposition or a problem with a government and with an ideology, opposition that many Jews across the world actually also adhere to, so then you just claim that Jews themselves are anti-Semite. It's fucking stupid. It's absolutely stupid. So fuck off. It's ridiculous. So we have Israel trying to say that they will basically just occupy this land, and they will continue, even if Hezbollah was to disarm and everything be done with, Israel would still make the argument that, well, see, we can't let the civilians back here either, because these civilians have been, I mean, they've probably been psychologically like brainwashed by Hezbollah. So even though they are Lebanese citizens, they are potentially liable to come out in opposition of us, and they might even just recreate Hezbollah themselves. And so we have to continue this area. They will not, if you allow them to argue that they need to maintain an occupation of an area for their defense and safety, they will keep it. There's no going back from that. They will keep it there regardless. All right, you are basically agreeing to permanent annexation of land. And that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to argue. That's what this agreement ultimately is. And that's not going to fly. It's not going to fly for a good section of Lebanon. I mean, you have already had protests, all right? People that do not agree with this. They have protests break out all across Beirut yesterday after this agreement. and is because people do not agree with it. Even the Lebanese people themselves do not agree with it. Yes, you probably have some areas, some groups that do and think it's great and think it's some sort of a step, but you also have the denial, the argument that you're denying a good portion, if not around half of your population, does not agree with something. It's the same argument here in the US when you have a small group like MAGA acts like they have some sort of mandate because Donald Trump got elected as president coincidentally, that they have some sort of mandate to just change everything in like half of the United States, actually more than half of the United States, does not agree with these changes. But yet we just have to put up with it because you think it's the best way for the United, it's okay. That's just not, it's the same thing here. You have a good portion, if not half or even more than half of the Lebanese people that do not agree with this because they know that they will never see their land. Israel is occupying this land. They are destroying villages. They are destroying properties. They are leveling the place like they have done in Gaza. It is, and they also see that they also, annexed section of Syria years back. And that is still under annexation, still under Israeli control. They are trying to constantly annex more and more and more of the West Bank. They are constantly trying to push and annex and control more and more of Gaza. That is what Israel does, and they do not relent from that. And they see this, and that is not what these people want. They want their full-on sovereignty. They want Israel to completely back out. But Israel's argument is that we're not going to. We're not going to. And now they have the agreement of quote-unquote the Lebanese government allowing this. And it's because the United States has their puppets in the Lebanese government, even with the Lebanese ambassador to the U.S. I mean, she is damn near of the U.S. She's worked with the World Bank. She's a partial owner and CEO, founder, whatever, of a medical agency group and stuff that has ties and connections with a group. I think like countries across Europe, with the United States. This is I could not personally find any ties to Israel, but I wouldn't doubt there's some sort of funding and connection somehow to Israel as well. Like, this is, you have the U.S. basically puppeteering a fake news agreement between Israel and quote-unquote Lebanon, and people will see right through it. And it's not going to fix anything. It doesn't bring peace. Because Israel will continue to occupy, they will continue to attack, they will continue to argue that they need to do these defensive measures because the protection and anti-Semitism, and oh my gosh, we're so threatened by these guerrilla groups that, that just, they're shooting their little missiles at us, and they're shooting their guns at us, and oh my gosh, our soldiers are dying on their land because we want to occupy it and remove them and prevent them from living and existing in their own sovereignty. I mean, it's cry me a fucking river. Seriously. Israel at this point is just pathetic. They are absolutely pathetic in their whining and bitching and crying. Oh my gosh. It is ridiculous. And I'm sick of it. I don't care. I know that they're trying to attack people for opposition and saying shit like this. I don't care. It's dude, I mean, seriously, these are children. They're children. They're adults acting like children. They're children in adult bodies, playing victim. Oh my gosh, we are so victimized. Get out of here. I mean, seriously, it is ridiculous. I mean, to the point that you have, it's ridiculous. Even in the religious, the group that I'm going to talk about in another video with the religious rights thing or whatever, religious freedom, council, assembly, whatever. Even they trying to make the argument around anti-Semitism. It is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you can't be critical of a government and their quite literal war crimes and atrocities on a humanitarian level without being considered like racist for doing so. Like, that's just absolutely ridiculous on such a stupid scale. Like, I don't even, it's I want to come up with more like formidable, vocabulary for this, but I mean, the simplest it's just stupid. It's absolutely stupid. Simple makes it clear. It's stupid. Anyways, so yeah, this agreement is dead in the water. It was off the bat. Israel's already broken it. Hezbollah did not agree to it. So there's not going to be a peace there with this agreement. It was bullshit. It was all semantics and show. It was a continuation of the clown show that all of this is. The only adults here in the room at this point, in my opinion, is Iran. I mean, it's like they have been the most mature about all of this, and it's been quite revealing to me seeing all of this go down, where everybody actually truly stands, showing their face, showing their agenda, showing their propaganda and their narratives, and how they are the corruption, the lies, I mean, this has been one of the most revealing past few years on so many different levels, and it makes me seriously just completely disappointed in humanity, completely disappointed in compassion and concern for humanity, compassion and concern for peace and understanding, for diplomacy, for like it is, I mean, in this, and a new century, a 21st century, and we still have such barbaric, mindless, ignorant leadership and control and actions being taken. It's just discouraging, and that's like being nice about it. It's been revealing how much my own country, that I grew up thinking was such a great country, such a moral country, or like we tried our best to do the right thing, that's just all bullshit. It's just straight ass bullshit. And people wonder why I don't sit here and like praise the flag, and I don't, you know, do the whole anthem shit in any kind of event or something. It's because I'm disgusted with our country. I'm disgusted with what we adhere to as far as like who we support, what we engage in, the lies and the corruption and the just like, I'm sick of it. It's I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be I don't want to be represented like that, because that's not what I am. That's not what I want to see my country be representation of. And I know that saying that is going to immediately throw up all of you that, you know, well, then just leave. Just get out of here. We don't want you here. Why are you still here? Blah, 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 blah. It's because I do love the idea and the concept of what we are supposed to be. But that's not what we are. And I want to do my part in trying to actually implement some sort of seed of change that hopefully one day we could actually be a great nation, and not the complete humiliation and embarrassment that we are at this point right now. And just running away from it is not going to do anything. And yes, maybe we are beyond the brink. Maybe we are so far, you know, that we cannot come back. Maybe it's a sinking ship. I mean, but that's how much I actually love and care about this nation. But not just this nation, but the entirety of humanity. And how we have the ability that we could influence greatness, not just even in the United States, but abroad. Like true goodness, true greatness, true compassion and concern and love and taking care of people and bringing people. Like, we could do that, but not under the leadership and power and control that we currently sit under, and have, unfortunately, I mean, in reality, been under for a long time now, if not always, to some degree. And that is a harsh reality as well. I know I've went off on a different tangent from what this video was about, but I just feel like it needed to be said. So thank you very much for joining me, and let me know what you think. I mean, again, this was dead on arrival. It's not going to change anything. So I feel that it's going to just continue to hinder the negotiations around the U.S. and Iran. We've already have escalation of attacks between the U.S. and Iran over the past couple of days. So, and both arguing that they broke the agreement. And from what I can see, the arguments, Iran has a better argument than the U.S. It just does. I mean, the agreement stated that Iran has that allowing the flow through the Strait of Hormuz with their with cooperation with them. And when we have set up this corridor that escapes that, tries to get around that, then that in itself goes against the agreement. They have a better agreement there. Whether you think it's a little petty, yes, maybe it is quite a little petty, but nevertheless, it was a part of the agreement, and we signed it. So to set that up does go against the agreement. and gives, and they feel like they have a right to do, you know, actions that keep that from, you know, being like, to warn people. They didn't, nobody died, there wasn't that much damage done. But then we turn around and attack multiple locations within Iran. In retaliation for it, arguing that, oh, you broke the ceasefire, so I guess we can too. I don't right. And then Iran turns around and goes, yeah, actually, we didn't break the ceasefire. We did not break the agreement. You're the one that broke the agreement, and now you've broke it again. So now we reserve the right to attack again and retaliate. In which they did. They did another attack. I think late last night. And so this is not looking good all around. So, anyways, let me know what you think, and thank you very much for joining me here. Again, check out links in the description for any support you want to give, and until next time, peace, clear talk, I'm out.